Okay, wait. I have to do this. I have to do this. My mom's probably gonna like hate me watching this video, but I don't care. I have to do this. And I want y'all to know something. When I was a kid, I would do drama plays, like little acting stuff. So I have a little bit, just a little bit of acting experience. Here we go, here we go. Let me get into character. Wait. Let me get my Chick-fil-A. Okay, here we go. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Everything you done to me, already done to you. And seen.
Should have locked you up and just let you out to work.
The jail you planned for me is the one you're gonna rot in.
See, get in the car. Get in the car.
I knocked you up on
Everything you've done to me, already done to you.
Yo, I love the color purple. Hey you guys, what's going on? My name is Rye Reed, the writer. I don't have the greatest of news for this topic today. The color purple starring Taraji P. Henson, Holly Bailey. Let me see who else is in this movie. Golly, there's so many freaking people in this movie. Okay, let me get the list. So the movie, let me see, this is the old one. No, this is the current one. Okay. So the movie was produced by Oprah Winfrey, of course. Steven Spielberg. We have Scott Sanders, Quincy Jones. I'm guessing that's from like back in the day. I don't think that's like current right now. It says 2023. Anyway, Taraji P. Henson, Daniel Brooks. We have Coleman Domingo, Corey Hawkins, Her's the singer, love her music. Holly Bailey, I don't know who Felicia, I probably do. Then Fantasia, and like Fantasia, come on now, at the end of the day Fantasia could sing, oh my gosh. This movie had so many stars in it that it's ridiculous. And the fact that this movie flopped, it didn't just flop, it did abysmal numbers in the theaters, which is really sad actually. I think a lot of the issue is, I said this in my previous video, we are in a economic downturn. A lot of people don't have money. If you're on, like, say the line, you have to make a decision between paying your rent, paying gas. Let's say you have kids, paying for your kids' stuff. You need food to survive. Let's say your car breaks down, just anything, right? Life is happening. And the economy's bad, everything's up, inflation is going to the movie theaters like a top priority. And that's a no, it never will be. So during this time right now, 2023 to 2024, this movie, it just had a lot of obstacles against it. But not only that, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the 2023 The Color Purple. So I found this article, it's by Forbes, and I like Forbes so much. I love going on there and just reading. It's cool now that I actually can like film on stuff now. But yeah, I'm gonna read this article. The title is How the Color Purple Rollout Became Dominated by Accusations of Low Pay and Poor Conditions. So let's do a little bit of backtracking. Before this movie even had a chance, when this movie was, you know, before we even had the rollout for this movie, like beyond like the commercials, we had Holly Bailey, we had a little bit of Fantasia, we got to see like the Broadway production of this film. Because this film, The Color Purple, this one is based off the Broadway version of Color Purple. So we're getting more of like the theatrics and singing and dancing, and which I absolutely love. I love Broadway, especially Black African American Black Broadway. I love going to stuff like that, like Hamilton. Don't get on me on this, but The Lion King is always gonna be a bop. I low-key want to go back and see it again. All right, so I love that kind of stuff. But before this movie even had a chance, Taraji P. Henson came out with accusations surrounding the film that she had been receiving low pay. And after so many years of her building up her accolade within the Hollywood epicenter, I guess like just that sphere of where she works, like in Hollywood world, that she has always been receiving, I guess, like low pay. And which is, I don't know, it's really sad, you know, to be honest with you. I could not imagine being her. And because this is just based off what she's saying, and it's fair for me just to think that, like, if she's saying that she's receiving low pay, and I guess the work hours or whatever she's going through from the multiple films she's been in, if she's saying that she's been receiving low pay, it's fair to believe that she's been receiving low pay. But she had accusations that with this film, despite all the films she had been in prior, like I know one of her movies, which is Hidden Figures. Absolutely love it. Phenomenal, great movie. I've seen it so many times. I love Pharrell, I love the music in there. But after all that, she's still receiving low pay. And with her being casted in this movie, The Color Purple, it was no different. She had to fight for a higher wage, which is absolutely like insane. Because to me, I put Taraji P. Henson in the same box as like a Viola Davis. And you know, say what you want to say, but Taraji, she has been in so many amazing films. Like, her catalog is insane. Like, I don't know, like Hidden Figures, come on now, like that, for real, like that. I might even have to throw in a clip or something. But
there is no bathroom. There are no colored bathrooms in this building or any building outside the West Campus, which is half a mile away. Did you know that? I have to walk to Timbuktu just to relieve myself. And I can't use one of the handy bikes. Picture that, Mr. Harrison. My uniform, skirt below my knees, my heels, and a simple string of pearls. Well, I don't own pearls. Lord knows you don't pay colors enough to afford pearls. And I work like a dog day and night, living off of coffee from a pot none of you want to touch.
Just that alone, Hidden Figures is amazing. Then what is it, Hustle and Flow. Then she had her own TV show. She was on Empire. She's just, oh my gosh, she was in that movie with Brad Pitt, I think, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. She was Benjamin Button's mom. Like, let us not forget that Benjamin Button was like a hot movie back in the day. It still is. But the fact that she was Benjamin Button's mother, oh my gosh. But yeah, this woman is absolutely on fire. But what she's saying, her accusations that she's received low pay, it's sad, but at the same time, it does not surprise me. And I'll say this. During the SAG Afra, I'm probably saying it wrong, but the SAG protest that they had downtown in LA. I was actually there for a lot of the protesting, because I work not too far from there, so I actually got to see them protesting. But once all that was happening during the protest, all the picketing, I found it so interesting how many actors and actresses, producers and writers and stage crew came forth and they revealed their truths. And their truths were that they had not been paid well. Nearly all of them had been receiving like really low royalty rates. You know, it's kind of sad. I was watching this video of another actor. He was part of the Power Rangers, and I guess his pay was something ridiculous. Like, he was only receiving, I guess, like per season, it was like a couple $1,000. But yet the Power Rangers, like that brand, that entity, was making like millions, especially during like the early 2000s and like the late 90s. But you know, this is just from what I'm seeing. This is just part of the industry. You'll work for a company, and you know, I'm just saying, this is just what I'm like reading, and this is just what I've discovered. You'll work for the industry, and they'll pay you. Granted, you might make $1 million or $2 million, but after you pay taxes, after you pay your agent, after you pay a stylist, after you get yourself to this like point, you're left with very little. But yeah, I'm gonna read this article, Forbes. I also want to say this. I have not seen The Color Purple, this new one. I do want to see it. Granted, I have heard bad things about this film from my mother and a couple friends who've already gone to see it during the holidays, during the Christmas season. One, I don't rely too heavy on other people's opinions. I like to make my own opinion for myself, like my own opinions. And another one, my mother is not really a huge fan of Broadway productions. I am. I like that stuff. Like I'm actually gonna take her to go see The Wiz coming up in February. We're just gonna go because I love The Wiz. Diana Ross, Michael Jackson. It's just, you know, we're gonna go see that. But you know, I'm gonna make my own opinions once I do see the film, and I probably will document it here and tell you guys how it went. But yeah, let's go on to this article. Let's talk about this movie flopping, which is, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise to me. I figured it was going to flop, but I am surprised as to why the numbers are so low for this film. But let's get into the article. So the article is by Forbes. Let's see, let me kind of roll down. The newest musical adaptation of The Color Purple has had its award season campaign overshadowed by accusations from its stars about poor working conditions and low pay, notably from star Taraji P. Henson, who said she nearly walked away from the project. And I agree with her. There was a clip of, I think it was P. Diddy. I'm not gonna get into P. Diddy stuff, like, whoa, pause. But I remember there was a clip of P. Diddy that was going around on social media, and it stuck with me. And he said something around this line that if he wanted to be paid a certain amount, like say if he wanted to make $53 million for whatever somebody wanted to pay him, and they were only willing to pay him $51 million, he said he would walk away, just because he wasn't going to receive exactly what he wanted. And when P. Diddy said that, like, it really resonated with me. And, you know, for that reason, for this reason as well, I agree with Taji. Like, you have to set your standards. Especially once you have made a name for yourself. You've proven your worth. You've shown that you're an absolute talent. And I will say this. Taji, she's not replaceable. She has been in too many films, way too many films, for her to accept anything less than her standard. And like I said, I put her on the same pedestal as a Viola Davis, and especially as she ages. To me, she's like, her and Viola Davis, the older they get, the better their acting roles and positions are like becoming. Like they almost have the, I'm gonna call it the Morgan Freeman like effect. Morgan Freeman's been acting for like a very long time, but we didn't catch on to Morgan Freeman until, maybe you did, but I didn't catch on to Morgan Freeman until like later on in his career. But that's because he became more of a seasoned actor and he started getting roles that better suited his talent. And after a while, he became so notable, especially with like his voice, like the deeper his voice got. He just became like a powerful force in his industry. And that's the same thing that like I view her. The older she gets, the better her acting is. And you can see it too. You can see it with the amount of energy and presence she puts into her roles. But yeah, if I was in her position, same thing. I would have my standards. I would have my my demands. And if you're not willing to pay me what I think I'm worth, which she absolutely does, then it's just, you gotta walk away from projects. But yeah, here we go. Forbes is so good. They have like a timeline effect on their on their like article. It's so good. I don't even have to do any research. Like everything's just like right here. So on December 5th, 2023, this is like, I guess when everything was starting. During an interview hosted by SAG-AFTRA, Henson drew attention just weeks before the film's release, and this is when I caught on to the film, by saying she nearly ditched the color purple because of low pay, complaining she hadn't received a compensation increase since her role in the 2018 film Proud Mary. I haven't seen that film. I probably will if I get some time this week. Maybe I'll sit down and watch it or just look up some clips on it. But that's like so sad. She has not received a compensation increase since her role in the 2018 film. So I am kind of curious as to what they're offering her. I'm guessing maybe $1 million, maybe less than. Like I know that chick from Wakanda, I can't remember her name. She's the Black Panther's sister. I think she received like $750,000 for her role. Still not bad, but after taxes, after paying everybody, you know, like how money kind of works like that. So I'm not sure. I kind of wish that she would like, and maybe Taj, you're gonna see this video, maybe you won't, maybe you will, but it would be super cool if you could post like a list of how much money you've made per film. And I would say that for almost like every actor out there. Like transparency is key. Transparency is a great way for us to see, like just the normal people, how much you guys are actually making, so we can have like a better like idea of what's happening financially like behind the scenes. Because as far as I know, like the only stories I hear about is like Tom Cruise is getting like 15 million, or right now we have there's a couple actors I've heard. Like I've heard who's the guy who plays Iron Man? Robert Downey Jr. I'm like butchering, I'm sorry. But Robert Downey Jr., I've heard that he's made like 10-15 million for his role in Iron Man. So I've heard like certain stuff. Like I hear about the actors making large amounts of money, but I never hear about, like, I guess your more moderate actor and actresses making what they're making. But like that stuff does not really come out too well. But yeah, if you are watching this, or you know, if you ever see this, like, or any other actors or actresses, put how much you're making each film so we can have like a judgment call for ourselves. But yeah, that's sad. She hasn't been making more money since the 2018 Proud Mary. And I'll also say this, even if she's getting paid millions, is it not fair for her to ask for more? Or it's fair for her to want a certain like amount? Like say if the actor next to her is making a certain amount of money, is it not fair for her to also require that same amount? Especially if she's bringing so much of herself to that role and she's like the reason why this film is going to succeed. That's just me. Okay, so December 19, 2023, and I want to shout out Chick-fil-A. I want to shout out my mom too. She got me some Chick-fil-A today. So freaking good. Okay, December 19th, 2023. Henson gave an emotional interview to Gayle King in which she said she's considering quitting acting because she got tired of getting paid a fraction of the cost she felt she deserved, despite being a Golden Globe winner, wow, and an Oscar nominee, sparkling in outpouring of support from fellow Black actors. Interesting. So is this a major issue with African American Black actors and actresses? Could this be the rise? I don't know. I don't know. But have Black people been making less in their roles? Possibly. That might be like a good story for me to cover. So December 21st, Henson praised Oprah Winfrey, a producer on the film, as a beacon of light, And an Instagram post. Okay. So this is like around the time when her and Oprah were kind of having their strange interactions on video. Then here we go. In December 25th, 2023, The Color Purple released in the US theaters, surpassing expectations by grossing $18 million on its first day. Sounds like a lot of money to me, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. The second biggest Christmas Day opening of all time, but it has since struggled at the box office. Then here we go, January the 5th. This is the new year. Henson told the New York Times she fought for the film's cast to be provided transportation to set after initially being offered a rental cars, stating driving herself to the set would be dangerous and an insurance liability. That's a problem. I mean, why is Henson even having that issue? Like, what happened there? Because, I mean, she can't drive herself to set. I feel like it would be just too dangerous, especially with her being in Hollywood. I'm not sure where they were filming at. Maybe down here in Hollywood, but yeah, still, that is kind of dangerous. January 5th, Henson also told the Times she was forced to audition for the role, despite being director Blitz, I can't pronounce his last name's first choice, adding, "She went in there with a chip on my shoulder because she had not auditioned in a long time." Interesting. So I like, just based off of this article, what I'm feeling is that she had to prove herself for this role, despite her being such a well-known, dynamic actress, and that rubbed her the wrong way. And also, once she did get cast for this role, they paid her poorly, and she had to fight for the little bit more that she does have now. And that also makes me wonder, if Taraji P. Henson was paid, I guess, poorly for this film, I can only imagine how much Fantasia made, or even, let's say, Halle Bailey. Like, if Taraji P. Henson is upset by her pay, what did they get paid? And like, I get it, maybe the other actresses and actors are maybe on the rise. Like, I know Halle Bailey is like on the come up as well, though she was the Little Mermaid. But I am curious to see how much everyone got paid on set. But unless anyone discloses that, we just don't know. Dang, this is like really sad. So I'm just gonna skip down. Allegations of low pay and poor working conditions have dominated the press run for The Color Purple, which has been met with a mostly muted response at the award ceremonies and box office. The film missed a nomination for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy at the Golden Globes, which was deemed a snub for some. Interesting. So let's get into the numbers. Because that's really what I want to hear for. The Color Purple ranked 4th at the domestic box office in its first full weekend, and that was December 9th to the 31st, with 11.7 in gross ticket sales. That's really bad. So let me see here. The film, which has grossed $54.6 million to date, reportedly cost, damn, yeah, it's bad, damn. This movie reportedly cost $90 million to produce, damn, an additional $40 million to market. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. That's horrible. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to even say. Like, that is horrible. This movie so far has only made $54.6 million. It cost $130 million to make, because here in the article they're adding in how much it cost to market. So it cost $40 million to market, and it cost $90 million for this to be produced. This movie is in the hole. There's just no way to get around it. It didn't even generate half of what it cost to even make this film. This film was an absolute bust, and that's so sad. Let me see. Keke Palmer also shared her own experience of needing to take on multiple jobs to survive, of how expensive working in the entertainment can be. Octavia Spencer posted a clip of Henson's interview with King on Instagram, praising her for her vocalization of her plight. Wow. Dang, so Keke Palmer, we have Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer was in The Help. I love that movie. Okay, so this is kind of turning into like a bigger issue. There's more to this article, but I don't really need to read all the rest. I can kind of just come up with my own thoughts on my own. So far, what we have here is, I'm kind of seeing a pattern. And Forbes, you guys did a phenomenal job of just writing this for me to come on here and report on it. But from what I'm seeing is black actors and actresses don't get paid very well. And if someone like Keke Palmer is saying she has to jump from movie to movie to like survive, that's just letting me know that they're not being paid very well. But you know, from what I've like gathered, and like I said, from all the protesting that was happening last year, actors and actresses don't make as much money as we think they make. From what I'm like just gathering, they don't make a lot of money at all, just depending on like their roles and what they're getting. Then if Taraji P. Henson is being paid so little right now, I can only imagine what she's making on like the flip side, on the royalty side. Because that's what you're going to be like really surviving off of. Like say if you are like in an economic like downturn. Let's say, because like the whole thing about acting is, and this is kind of one of the reasons why I never really pursued it. If you are an actor and you get booked for a role, let's say this is like a really big role and you get booked. And let's say on the high side, you get paid $1 million. You pay everyone, you lose taxes, you pay your agent, you pay whoever else helping you, your agent, you know, whoever else is on your team. You're paying all these people, right? You only net so much. Plus now you're a celebrity. And people know you, and you can't really go work at like Home Depot or get like a job next door, or you know, people know you. Now you have a reputation. Now that you're this famous person, you're this famous actor, actress, you're in pursuit of finding your next role. And we know how competitive the industry is. It might take you 4 or 5 months, maybe even a year to find your next something. And now you're living off of what you made from that last role. Like I've heard stories where actors will get one role and they won't find anything for like 4 or 5 years. And they're broke. Which, you know, makes absolutely perfect sense. But yeah, I couldn't imagine like being in that position. But they do it well, especially like if you're a really good actor or actress. I guess you just have to become like a notable person, and you really have to disprove yourself. But yeah, I feel really bad for, I feel bad that this movie didn't perform well. But at the same time, I'm not. Just because The Color Purple, as much as I do love The Color Purple, I love the 1985 version of The Color Purple. I wasn't even alive when that movie came out, like the first one. And I love the cast of the original Color Purple, because like you can't get past like Danny Glover, Margaret Avery, you have Whoopi Goldberg. Like the cast was just, it was just dripping in talent. The issue I have seen now currently with this newer version of The Color Purple, no one asked for it. That's like the main thing. Like nobody asked for this film. And I can understand, like the movie came out in 1985. It came out decades ago. And now you have a newer, younger generation, my generation. We're all adults now. You would think like, oh, maybe what we should do is we should make a reboot of The Color Purple. And what they did in their case is they made The Color Purple, they based it off of the Broadway version. And they decided to put that in movie theaters, and they stacked it up with like a huge cast. But But here's the biggest thing. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wanted this. And we can just see right here from the numbers, like, granted, people did go see this film. My mother went to go see it. I probably will see it, not in theaters, but I will go see it. But no one asked for this film. Like, them making a reboot of The Color Purple wasn't even on my radar. Like, it wasn't even something like I wanted. And that's mainly just because the 1985 version is so good. You didn't need to make a Color Purple on Broadway film 2023. I'm happy like it did come out. Like, I think it's great to have films. I think it's wonderful, especially to cast African Americans in films, and just, you know, for us to have our space. Like, I absolutely applaud that, and I want that. I want there to be more movies, you know, especially with people of color, POC actors and actresses to be, you know, on film, on cinema. Like, I love that. But the 1985 version is so strong that even now, right now in 2024, if you were to watch it, you would look at anything else and go, why would you need to even do anything else? Because it's so good. And I view the 1985 Color Purple as just one of those cultural phenomenons. And like, I'm black. Like, in my home, there's certain movies we watch every single year, especially during the holiday times. One of the ones is we always watch, like, the Jacksons, right? The Jackson movie, like the Jackson 5s. Like, we always watch that movie. It's always during the Christmas time. Like, my dad always has that on, or my mother will put that on. We always watch the Prince movie, like Prince's like movie kind of detailing his life. That's like a classic, like, especially in black homes. We all watch it. We also always watch Roots. I've seen Roots so many times. Like, that's insane. I felt like I was a slave. Like, when he said, you know, what's your name? Like, I felt like I got hit. I've seen the movie so many times. And like Coming to America, or even watching Martin, like, there's just certain movies you watch. Color Purple is on that list. I've seen it. I've rehearsed it. You know, I love me some Hoppo, but I can dead if he hits me. Like, I know the movie. And it's so part of my childhood. It's so part of just my culture. How do you top something like that, starring Whoopi Goldberg as, like, Celie? Like, how do you even compete with that? And I think that's, like, what a lot of people are just, like, thinking. That's what a lot of people are feeling. Why would I go pay to go watch this movie when I can go watch the 1985 version? Like, it's just, it's incomparable. They're both still... I'm not gonna say they're both great movies, but the 1985 is such a great movie. It's just hard for me to imagine why you would want to see a reboot. Them having a Broadway version, you going to go see that on Broadway, absolutely, that's like a ballpark. Hit it out the park, perfect, genius. You can do that for the end of time. But them just deciding now to make a Color Purple 2023, basing it off of like the Broadway version, I really, and that's not me being mean, that's just me being honest. I don't know why that was a decision of why they would make that. So I don't know. But that's what I'm genuinely thinking. I'm thinking that's why people did not want to go really just go see this movie. Plus, like, the economy and everything else going around. And we also know, like, nowadays, viewers, us, the customers, we have been trained to not go to the theaters anymore to go see film. We've been trained to go, if we want to see this film, I would rather wait 2-3 months, and it's going to be on a streaming platform. It's going to be on HBO Max, or wherever it's going to be, like, posted, Max, I mean. And I would rather just wait, save my money, and wait for it to be on there for free in a couple months, or maybe the next year. And that's a lot of the issue now with, like, films as well. People will show up for a film. Don't get me wrong. The Barbie movie, people showed up. Oppenheimer, people showed up. And the Super Mario movie that came out, like, last year in March, people will show up. But you have to give people a strong enough reason to really spend their bucks. And people show you how they feel about things with their money. And this is just what we've seen here. But yeah, I will go see this movie. I will watch it. Same thing when it's on Max. And I'll do it so. Then maybe I'll have like a review on it. But yeah, I do. Like I said, I feel a little bit bad. Great cast. Fantasia. Holly Bailey. She's on fire. Taraji P. Henson. And her. There's so many great people that were like in this film. It's just sad to see that like it just underperformed. But it's just, you know, 'tis the times. We're just in a... We are in a reality where people don't want to go to the theaters. People have been burned so many times seeing certain films, especially like these action films, these Marvel movies, or just anything. And people are just like no longer going to the theaters anymore. Plus, you know, it costs a lot. Like, I'll say this before I end the video out. I took my mom to go to the theaters. It was a couple of weeks ago. We went to go see Aquaman. I probably will do a video on that, but we went to go see it. My ticket and her ticket were both $25, so that's 50 bucks. You gotta have snacks when you go to a theater, because I'm not sitting in no theater for no 2 hours and not eating nothing, right? So in total, for me and her to go to the theaters, plus gas, I'm looking at 100 bucks just for 2 people. I couldn't imagine having a husband, me, you add on 3 kids. You're talking about $200-300 bucks to go to the theaters. I ain't going to no theaters. Like, you feel me? I'm not going to no theater. I would rather wait for it to get on streaming, and I will go watch it at home in the comfort of my home, right by my refrigerator, because there's snacks always in my refrigerator, and I would rather do it that way. But yeah, I don't know. I also want to say this. I think this should be like a wake-up call to production companies, to movie productions, and, you know, like Sony, Warner Brothers, you know, all the major distributors. If you guys are going to make movies, you guys gotta give people a reason to go see a movie. And The Color Purple is a good movie, the first one, the 1985, but you guys also put out like a reboot. This movie, we've already seen this story. This isn't anything new. This isn't a new story. This isn't Celie after she leaves and she, you know, what was she? She was a seamstress. She was making clothes. This is not like, you know, The Color Purple 2. This wasn't like a continuation of her story. This was a reboot of a story we already know. That's not a strong enough push for people any longer for them to go see movies. And like, I hope this encourages maybe like independent film producers and directors and writers to really keep that in mind. You have to give people a reason to want to go see something. And you don't have to spend like $40, $90, $100 million to make a film. You can spend like $10 million, maybe even less, maybe 2, 3, 4, to make a film, something original, something that will captivate people. And it doesn't always have to have a whole bunch of like CGI and a whole bunch of effects. It can be like something simple, something basic. And that can be enough for people to give that movie a chance. But it's something new and it's something refreshing. I don't think people, and maybe I'm just speaking for me, but yeah, I don't want to go see reboots anymore. I don't want to see seconds and thirds of the same story I've already seen. Like, I don't want to keep seeing the Mutant Ninja Turtles like over and over again. Like, I've seen that story. Unless you're giving me something refreshing, or you're doing a continuation of the story like past that time frame. But like, I'm seeing like Hollywood studios, they're playing it like super safe, and they keep regurgitating the same story over and over, and it's just getting tiring. I don't know. Something needs to change, and hopefully it does. Maybe this new generation, maybe someone will make a new movie and start new trends. But yeah, I'm tired of the same stories over and over. But yeah, I really do. I wish Taraji P. Henson like the absolute best. She's an incredible actress. I hope she does not quit doing what she loves, because she's clearly really great at it. She's incredibly talented. But yeah, this is just what it was. This movie was an absolute flop. There's no way to get around that. Like, they didn't even make half of what they needed to make. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna see about making more videos and getting more content that I'm picking up from TikTok. But you guys out there, what's some advice I can give you guys? What's something like really great I can say? This is the new year too. Oh no, I have advice. I have advice. That's like based off of this video. If you have standards, don't change them for anybody. If you feel like you're worth a certain amount of money, like you're trying to get a new job or something, and you want to make a certain amount, don't settle. Because if you settle, don't be like me. I used to settle back in the day. If you settle for a low pay, you're going to end up hating that job, because it's not what you want, and you're not financially going to be where you want to be. And that's some sprinkle some advice. But yeah, you guys are watching this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go eat something healthy or get some Chick-fil-A. So good. I love Chick-fil-A. And you guys have a wonderful day. Okay, I'm out.